suck a dick in any position, any mode of transportation. I'll do it all. You can't sit on my face. Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Our 4-year anniversary.
Yes, it is. And happy Valentine's Day, little angels.
Oh my God, it's Valentine's Day.
And our anniversary. So many holidays to celebrate today.
God, it's a lot going on.
So much. Oh my God. And the blowjob episode.
It's a long time coming, if you will.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about coming, swallow, spit, whatever. Lots of schools of thought. I'm so excited.
Schools of thought.
We just had our DC shows this past weekend. I'm sure that they were amazing.
Yes. Again, we're recording before we go. So thank you guys for coming out. I mean, I know they were amazing because DC always is amazing.
Mm-hmm. 2 shows. So thank you guys. And in real time, we just got back from Miami yesterday and I slept for 10 hours. I'm feeling better.
Yes. We made it to Miami.
People were really proud of me for not canceling that trip. You guys, the trips I cancel are solo trips. I'm not canceling on Ashley.
Yes, Raina has never canceled a trip on me. It's always her eat, pray, love trips that she thinks she's going to want to take.
That is so true.
So we had the best time. We stayed with a good friend of ours, more my friend, but now she's good friends with Raina. We stayed with her and we just had the best. I mean, honestly, one of our favorite trips, but we always say that, which is why we're probably going to buy a place in Miami.
Yes,
I'm going to say it. I'm going to manifest it on this episode.
We're not manifest. You sent me 2 places last night. I woke up, I was like, Ashley, I'll buy those sight unseen with you. We've talked about buying other places, but I think that this is where my heart lies.
It finally was like clicked for us that we're like, we should own a home here. We're really going to buy a house together.
I was waiting for the punchline of this. Yes, we're going to buy our first home together.
Raina and I are not a couple. I can't stress it enough.
You know that some people are like, are they kind of weird and like together? No one thinks that about us. So we're going to do like a whole like 4-year anniversary. Like, what questions do you guys have? I'll just get it out of the way here. We've never done anything. We've never touched each other's holes or made out or any of that. Never wanted to do that last. I think Ashley is so beautiful, but I don't want to touch her sexually.
Never even had like a moment. Like not
There's this very great episode of Girls where Lena Dunham and Jenny Slate are like sitting on Lena Dunham's bed and Jenny Slate is like, are we gonna make out now? You and I have never had that moment.
I've never had that moment with any of my close friends. Like, I think every once in a while I meet a new friend or like a woman that we like are flirty kind of, you know, but it's not going to be us.
I have gone down on 2 of my close friends.
Right. Different.
And one of them I'm not even friends with anymore.
See, that's how a friendship breaks up.
That's how
you eat your friend out. You guys might break up. Don't do it.
Yeah. Only be eating out, girls.
Don't eat your bestie's pussy. Okay. So yes, we had an amazing trip. Okay. The one thing I want to talk about from the trip.
Okay.
Been to Miami a ton. You see a lot. It's a party city, you know, tons of honestly, just people showing out money and luxury, everything. And like a lot of people really there to party. There's clubs that literally open at 4 a.m. You know what I mean? So we're like walking out to the beach, like to get in the water. And this one girl caught my eye that she was wearing kind of like what looked like a little short skirt. But again, they make bathing suits that are like more coverage. They're more of a skirt. So I start to look at this group. It's girls and guys. And the girls are wearing like pretty full coverage swimwear. And I'm like, is this what the kids are doing these days? And Raina goes, Ashley, that's their outfit from the night before. I said, no, it's not, Raina. Like they're in the water.
We were in the ocean, you guys, like on a sandbar in the ocean, pretty far out.
They're in the water, fully submerged. And I'm like, is this new swimwear? Like the girls are doing like.
Well, I thought the first one was new swimwear because I thought it was like, oh, a skirt.
It was like her neon purple. Yeah. It was kind of like it. You guys, they were in the water. This whole group in their club clothes. The guys were in their boxer briefs. The most fucked up guy of all had his boxers on and a t-shirt. And the other guys just had on their boxers. These girls were in their club dresses, 1 p.m. in the water. And then when we left the ocean, they were all fucked up, obviously. I mean, you're on tons of drugs, like whatever you're doing to still be up from the night before. You know, no judgment, but like we come out of the water and we see their pile of shit. There's a handle of Tito's. big like club heels. I saw like a random like credit card. Like they just came from the club. They probably came from what, Space? Is that the club that like
Space is the club, opens at 4.
Yeah,
It's behind
opens
11.
at 4. I think there's like downstairs you can go at midnight, but like people go when everything else, when people go when the other clubs close. So I just couldn't get over it. I couldn't get over that pile of stuff. We're on the beach, towels, swell bottles, sunscreen. They're on the beach, bottle of Tito's. The guy, I got a video of them walking off the beach. I'm not going to post it, of course, but then a couple people were like, you should post it. I bet they would love it. I'm like, I'm not going to out someone.
Well,
like
because
that.
They looked like they were feeling so much shame. They couldn't even look up. They were just looking at the stand. 2:00 walking off the beach in their club clothes.
2:34, I took these videos, and the most fucked up guy of all, he can barely walk. He's walking dead, you know, like he's barely alive. And we hear him as he walks by us. You didn't hear him. I think Laura and I heard him. He goes, "Can we just get the fuck out of here and go get crazy somewhere?"
What do we call this, sir? This was so crazy. I mean, Miami comes at you fast. Do you think we'll go to Space?
Well, we were joking that we would go to Space. We would wake up and go. Like we would go for like an 8 a.m. dance cardio workout.
I know. I was like, can I wear my athleisure there? Can we
wake up at 8 and go get some cardio in?
Like we'll go like Pura Vida smoothies and then we'll go to the club.
But people are there partying till noon. I mean, I assume they like left that club at like 11 or noon and came straight to the beach. It's just nuts. I mean, the hardest I ever went in Miami, I did go to Mint. I was on a bachelorette. We met up with this bachelor party and we left the club at 4 probably, and then went into the ocean, and I did fuck this guy in the ocean. And then I realized the sun was coming up and I was naked and my clothes were on the beach, and I exited the beach. Like people saw me naked, like older people were taking their morning walk, which was a pretty crazy thing. Like I'm glad my clothes were still there. Like to come out of the water as the sun's coming up, I just fucked this random dude, and there's like old people like, oh my God.
I just never gotten that crazy. Like I say all the time, like I've been old since I was like 18. I just like, I don't stay out that late. I haven't done that. I've fucked in those lifeguard chairs in Miami on the beach. Like,
I mean, that's pretty crazy.
At like 2 a.m. though. Like I wasn't doing it as the sun was coming up.
Yeah.
I'm not that like.
It was, but I had that walk. I felt that girl's pain. I had that walk where I was like, what am I doing? And then you got to fly out that day. Oh my God.
I would rather die. But the trip was really great. I did not cancel because I would never cancel a trip on a friend. And we flew back, little boob update. We landed. I went to the surgeon to check out my boobs. I got all the tape off of the scars. And they are pretty gnarly. So I got bio oil. The scars, they stick out really far. So I got bio oil. I got silicone strips. I'm going to do all the things. And then today was my first day working out. So I took 3 weeks off.
Oh my God, I didn't realize that. I wasn't thinking when you said you were working out this morning. That was the first day.
It was my first one. So I rode the bike. I just was worried about like bouncing a lot. They said I could have sex and work out as well, it's the bouncing. You know what I mean?
What the doctor says. By the way, yeah, you can have sex.
You were there. I was like, when can I start drinking? When can I have sex? When can I work out? So he said, as soon as you're gone. Why is it so funny?
I don't know. Like those are your 3 favorite things to do.
They are. I didn't masturbate for like, I didn't tell you this. I didn't masturbate for the first like 9 or 10 days after the surgery because it hurt when my nipples got hard.
Right.
Let me tell you guys, take 9 or 10 days off of masturbating. Your orgasms will be outrageous.
No, it's like not even, it's like happened so quick. Like I didn't masturbate for a while after my nose job because sometimes when I come, my nose runs. What? Anyone else? No, fuck me.
I bet you'll get DMs from people that say their nose runs when they come. Okay. I'm so glad it came up. I forgot to tell you last week.
Where are my soul sisters at? With the runny noses. Oh my God. Not like during sex, I think, just like masturbating.
You're not dripping on anybody?
It's been so long, so I don't even know. Oh my God.
Not dripping?
Came through dripping. You know me, dripping more ways than one. God. I'm so wet. Some guy's like, really? I'm like, just my nose. From the nose, just my left nostril.
Anyways, my orgasms have been outrageous, just so intense and crazy. So yeah, take a couple days off. I worked out today for the first time. I took a bike class. So yeah, like sex and biking, bouncy. So I wore a good bra. I did a 30-minute, pretty low intensity workout, and I feel good. So I'm excited to be back. The scars are pretty crazy. Not around my nipple, but just the one straight down. But it'll just get better. Like I'm just not worried about it. So it was my first time actually like seeing them fully and like seeing how like they staple your shit back together.
Yeah.
The nipples were fine. It's just the one that's straight down. So I'm excited. It's going well. I have not had sex since the breast reduction, but I look forward to doing that hopefully soon.
Love that. I look forward to having sex since your breast reduction also.
But not with each other because we don't do that together.
Ew, gross. Okay, a couple things. I have a few notes and corrections. We're just going to go through them. So many of you guys messaged about this. I cannot believe I didn't know this before. We talked about this Short King party last week. There was this thing that was going viral on Barstool and everywhere else of these party of these guys that were 5'8" or under and all their dates were 5'10" or above. It was at Clemson. And I can't even believe it. I can't believe that like I missed this and didn't like think to look it up because I never once thought it would have been at like something so close to me.
We just thought Boston.
We thought Boston. Anyway, so
shocking.
It's so
I was
crazy.
So glad you guys. Honestly, we say don't DM us, but that was a worthy. That was worthwhile.
Yes, thank you for those of you who DM'd me and told me it was at my alma mater. Okay, another thing. So last week we deep dove on And Just Like That, and we talked about Che Diaz, who was played by an actor named Sarah Ramirez, and we used the wrong pronouns for them. So we wanted to acknowledge that we used the wrong pronouns, and we respect that. And it was just it wasn't purposeful. And Che Diaz as well as Sarah Ramirez are non-binary, and so we just wanted to acknowledge that we made that mistake, and that of course we will strive to make sure we don't make those mistakes again.
Yeah, and so we just wanted to acknowledge it and say that we did it, and we'll correct the behavior.
Yeah. Okay.
What's next? Oh, okay. So while we're on the subject of television stories, some racks. I'll give a couple quick racks. Guys, watch the Anna Delvey thing this week on Netflix. We'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
Playboy, there's a fantastic 8 or 10 part docuseries about Hugh Hefner and Playboy and just how problematic the behavior was. Things like, that we had a show on E! About this 70-plus-year-old man dating an 18-year-old, and we just thought it was funny and cute and quirky.
Yeah.
So great deep dive on that. That's on A&E. Really interesting deep dive. And then you watched The Tinder Swindler last night. I watched it last week, and 20-somethings, which we told you guys to watch on Netflix.
Yeah, The Tinder Swindler, I mean, it just is fascinating, but so depressing. Spoiler alert. So if you guys you want to fast forward a little bit if you haven't watched it, the end is just he's still doing this and these women are trying to rebuild their lives. What the fuck? I felt so angry.
Mm-hmm. It took, the Fire Festival documentaries are some of my favorite things in the world to watch.
Billy McFarland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything about Theranos, of course, but I feel this is one thing where I watched it and there's no justice for these people. And so I thought it was really fascinating. If you know anything about it, this guy basically used social media or used Tinder to meet all these women and then pretend that he was in crisis and take their money. So he took, tens of millions of dollars from these women.
And if you haven't watched it, this isn't these women were naive and stupid. He really, they were in love with this guy, or the one girl was just his good friend, and they thought he was rich. So there was no reason to believe. Again, I don't know that I would have fallen for it, but I also, it's not about victim blaming or oh my God, they were so stupid. It wasn't even that. I mean, this guy really conned them and gave them no reason to believe that he wouldn't pay them back. And I just don't understand. He actually never even got arrested or in trouble for that. He got arrested for using a fake passport. So he actually never has repaid his debt to them, or they're still out here setting up a GoFundMe, and this guy's just out on the streets still on private jets and everything.
I mean, I guess if I'm trying to hypothesize why, because I don't know how these laws work, but it's yeah, you can't really go to jail for lying to your girlfriend and she gives you money.
No, you are right. You are right. I mean, that's what it is. But I was trying
to think about why it's really sickening. It's horrible. These women's lives are ruined forever. And it's just they don't really have a case, because these women can say to Amex, I took out $200,000 worth of credit card debt. And they're okay, well, we didn't make you do that. We're a company and you have to pay us.
Right. With, at least I guess with Billy McFarland, something like that, it's different because he conned all these ticket goers, out of money and stuff like that. But you're right. He just conned the women he was dating or his own friends. It's sickening. And, but it's still fascinating to watch and truly hear how it got to this point. And then the one woman at the end, Eileen, I was just like, go off, queen.
Selling all of his stuff.
Yes. And just the way she spoke about it. She was his girlfriend for over a year.
And it is
and she was like, fuck you.
Right. And it is even like a cautionary tale of like, be scared of Tinder. Like I like that they wrapped it up and one of the producers asked one of the ex-girlfriends, are you off Tinder? And she was like, no, I'm on it right this minute. Like it's not even a cautionary tale. I don't think these women are stupid. I think they were in love with a person and they were afraid for that person's life and they tried to help them.
I do. Yeah. But I like that this stuff comes out and you know, these cases like this, I think are pretty rare, but regardless, like, shows like this or Dirty John or whatever it is, I love that they're out there in the world. They make you think that this could happen. Cause like, why would you think that was happening if this was happening to you, maybe the Netflix documentary would pop into your head and be like, maybe I should take a beat on this and not wire this guy 10 grand. But I think we all can watch this and think like, would this happen to me? Could this happen to me? You know me, I'm too fucking crazy. I'd be like, why can't you use your credit card? Like I would have to have all the details. And then I'd also be like, what about your billionaire dad? Like you're not asking your new girlfriend for money. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that would be like, absolutely not. Like
right.
Also I don't want somebody that's like living a life like this. And every time he talked about his enemies, I was like, you sound like you're in a fucking Disney movie. Like my enemies, they're coming after us. Shut up. What you're like, I think a lot of that would have tipped me off, but that was my number one thing of like, if you are a son of a billionaire and all this money, you aren't asking your girlfriend of a month for money.
Right. Well, I mean, you also have probably a million other like ways to move money around and not look like it's your money. You have money in the Cayman Islands or whatever it is. You're hiding it, like shady shit you're doing.
You have cash yourself.
I didn't even think about that. It's like you have a million other ways to get money. Business associates.
Yeah. You're flying on private jets. You're doing all this stuff. Like you don't need to borrow 10 grand from your girlfriend. You just don't. If that's really who you are. So that would have been my thing. But again, like it was just so manipulative how he basically was like, you're in charge of whether I like live or not. Do you love me or not? You know what I mean? It was incredibly fucked up.
Yeah.
And people like that, like the first Cecilia or the main, like the first one they interviewed, she was like such a hopeless romantic. Like they opened the fucking thing with her talking about Disney movies and wanting her prince to come along. Like con men and people like that can pick up on things like that. Like I'm not even saying it's a weakness. She was just like a hopeless romantic.
I think if you've also been at this for so long,
you can
know who
pick
to prey
up on it. Yes,
totally.
You know who to prey on. And it's so gross. But on a better note, 20-somethings Austin is, it's on Netflix and it's essentially the real world, but like so much better, you know, like the thing about it is that they put these people in two houses, women in one house, men in the other house. And, you know, the real world essentially was like, let's put all these people in a house and see what happens. This was very much like, let's find these people, a diverse group of people who are all at some sort of crossroads in their life and put them together and see if they want to like grow together, you can discover themselves, decide to move, you know, leave where they've always grown up. Like, you know, you were asking me, you're like, is the point to like stay together? And I'm like, the point's just see if they can like find themselves, which I just love. I don't think I'd seen a show like that before.
I probably wouldn't have watched it if you hadn't told me to watch it. I'm so glad that you did because I feel like it's
Bella told us to watch it.
Thanks, Bella.
Bella,
I'm sorry, Bella.
We were in the car. We were in the car, and she was like, "Ashley, what? You haven't watched it yet?" She doesn't talk like that.
And I'm like, Bella, this is about your elders, okay? I don't need to watch this. But it's really feel good, and you know, I watch a lot of reality TV, and I find myself feeling like when I watch it, why can't anybody get along? Why does everybody have such disgusting, deplorable behavior? And this is like a reality show I did not feel like that about. I felt like you said, they're all at a crossroads in their life. One person, for example, is gay. He's never dated men before.
Oh my God, Kiki's
and you just get to watch his journey. There's a girl who's recently divorced and doesn't really know if she wants to be with men or women and try them both and how to date. And I just loved watching all these people find themselves. And it's not a show about fighting and drinking and tearing each other down. It really was just all these people from very, very diverse backgrounds, sort of like trying to figure out if they like each other or how they're going to date other people. It's really special. It really really makes you feel good.
I mean, I don't watch shows where it's all fighting and drama. Like, I don't like it. It gives me anxiety. That's why I don't watch The Housewives. Like, and that's no shade to people that do. Raina loves that shit. I'm just saying, like, this was so different than a Bravo show in every way. Like, the drama was like, if we're talking about Abby's character, for example, who, you know, was probably the least likable and then really had a moment of growth. Like, I was at the point where I was like, I really don't like this character. I really don't like this person. This is really shitty. Like, this, we know this girl, you know, it's just like, you're always going to choose a guy over your friends. Like, we know this girl. We don't like this girl. She's not our type of girl. And then she kind of realized her actions. And so the drama were like these really important moments of growth that I think were like relatable to a lot of people. Like, it wasn't just like fighting for the sake of fighting. It clearly was not like producers drumming up stuff behind the scenes. Like, it was just really felt like real life, the struggles that people like actually deal with. And I just thought it was so beautiful and really special show.
Yeah, it's not manufactured. I think that's what I'm digging for. Is the drama isn't like selling Sunset. We're clearly, which we are obsessed with.
We love that too.
But it's not like clearly every single episode somebody has said to every character, talk about Christine, talk about Christine. I mean, even The Bachelor this season, the last couple episodes, like every single girl can't stop talking about Shanae. And it's just, it gets a little bit sickening to watch. And you look at all these people and you're like, aren't you more dynamic than this? Don't you have anything else to say? And I know that that's manufactured and produced. And I don't think that 20 somethings is like that. So it's really special. You guys will enjoy it.
Well, and they cast people that they know will do that. Like, you think when they were interviewing Shanae, they were like, she's the one, you know, she's going to be the villain. Like, you know, right. the point was like to make you fall in love with all these characters. I mean, I will say, and this is like a little bit of a spoiler, but like one of the guys does leave. He just decides it's not for him. He wants to go back and live like where his parents are from. And he doesn't want to take this job in Austin and stay there. It's this guy named Bruce. And I loved him so much because he wasn't exactly what you thought he was on the surface, but he was like every guy I know that I partied with in Atlanta. He was just like a Southern guy. And he just developed this friendship with Kiki, who was the gay man we referenced, who was like trying to find himself. And he left. And I just feel like it was never the same after that. And like, it was still good. I still finished it to the end, but I told you were like making fun of me because I was like, I just like missed him so much. I was like on Bruce's Instagram, like just because the whole dynamic kind of changed. Like they had such a good thing going. And
hear me out though. The new guy that they added, again, spoiler, was a real catalyst for Abby's growth. So
that's a good call.
At least it happened.
Okay. You're right. But the couples, you left the comedian that ended up with.
There's this Jewish comedian from LA, and I think he's such a nerd and hysterical to watch him. He's a virgin. His like jokes, honestly, I don't even believe it because they like you see him do a set and they cut to like crickets basically in the audience. And I don't believe it.
I don't think so either.
I thought he was really funny. You watch him date and court this girl in the house who is this stunningly beautiful Indian girl. She's a fashion designer.
But before that, when he goes out with this 51-year-old woman.
First episode.
Which Bella, let me tell you, I wonder if Bella picked up on this. So one of the funniest things, one of the things that made me laugh out loud was when Kiki would go, stop. He would go, stop. When something was like crazy, he would go, stop. And when Michael said, I'm going out with this woman, she's a little older. I thought he was going to say 35. And he said 51. He said 51. And Bruce and Kamari were like, what am I? And Kiki goes, stop. And I laughed so hard. And this is nothing against this woman, but like, what the fuck? Like, it was so random. This kid's like 23.
He's 23 going out to be 30 years older than him.
And meanwhile, the like hottest woman on the show is into him, Raquel. And he's just like so clueless. And oh my God. But like the storyline with him and Isha, yes. Thank you, Bella. I liked it. I thought she's a little princessy, you know, hold my purse, but like I still really liked her, and I think maybe like that could always change. Like this is a little kind of young and like, you know.
The only energy that I got from her that I didn't enjoy was her constantly saying you have to pay for everything. And that's not how I feel or I behave.
That's what I'm saying. It was very like princessy. Like I think that's probably how she grew up. And
it seems like something that her mom told her that like, this is how you show respect to a woman. And that's fine. I do think you like grow up out of that.
And then the fact that Raquel and Kamari just ended up together, like that scene when they were just like leaving the volleyball game, I was like, this has been the match the whole time. Like like I don't know if they're still together. I got to check up on them on Instagram, but like they just seem like they are.
They're still together.
Bella, oh my God, Bella's got the tea.
And Isha and Michael are still together too.
I knew that. I checked up on that, but like I was just like fingers crossed for Kamari, who, good Lord.
What a smoke.
That was a little hard to watch at some points because he was so hot.
I know.
I was like, I'm so turned on. But anyway, all right. Well, we just are obsessed with it. And I don't know, maybe we'll get if we get anybody on the show, it's going to be Kiki.
We just love them all. It's just, so check it out, guys. That's on Netflix. So much good TV coming out. We're really excited about it.
We're so excited.
So we have so much good stuff coming up for our 4th anniversary and Blowjobs.
Okay.
4 years.
4 years.
We've been together. You guys have been with us. This is really special. I got over here today and I was like, I didn't even write anything for it because I feel like it just spills out of me. And, I think that you and I acknowledge how special our friendship is, how special this podcast is and this audience. So I hope that you guys feel that we acknowledge that constantly. When we started this, I don't know that I thought would it run this long. I just thought like I met this really cool girl. I think this is a really great idea. I think it fills a hole in the world that doesn't exist. We can share our stories. I never had anywhere in the world that I could look for this type of support or information. And I didn't really have a 5-year plan in my mind. I just thought I would do this really great thing with this great person. And I can't believe it's like my job and what I get to do. I can't believe the audience and the community. And I say that all the time. I just think you guys are the coolest, smartest, best people in the world. And you've taught me so much, and Ashley has taught me so much. And I'm really, really so proud of what we created. I can't believe it.
I know. I mean, I believe it, but like people, they're like, how long are you going to do this? I'm like, as long as people want it. And that was a question that you guys asked. We're going to get to some of these burning questions that the snack heads had, but like, how long are you doing this? Because we joked that we were going to retire in 3 years. And if people still want it, we'll still do it. I always am like, I want to always go out on a high note with everything I do. It's like any sort of like TV show, you just don't want that last shitty season. Like Tom Brady, he's going out on a high note. He doesn't want to just start to have shitty seasons.
He doesn't want to Ben Roethlisberger it.
Or like Brett Favre it, so we have no plans to stop. We joke about retiring and things like that. But yeah, I mean, Rain and I, who would have known? I mean, I think that the thing I say that I'm the most thankful for and the most like lucky for is just our friendship. Like you just never know, how much do you ever really know anybody? I didn't really know this bitch that well,
at all. No, we met in October. If you guys don't know, we met in October. We started this in February.
Yes. And so people have asked us, one of the questions that came up was, how did you name the podcast? I came up with the name, but I have the text between us about the name and like where I was like, what about this? Girls got to eat, and I kind of like walked Raina through and she didn't hate it. And I remember I was like walking to the L when I shot off that text and I was like, I hope she likes this because I really like it. But that was on November 30th, 2017. So yeah, I like, because I guess I asked you maybe like end of November. And then within a few days, we were like tossing around ideas and stuff like that. And then December of 2017, we started to really work on it. And then we hit it hard coming out in 2018 and started it, as you guys know, 4 years ago this week.
I still
remember Valentine's Day.
I remember the exact date you and Dewey came and met me at the Bean. And we talked about it, what we're going to do and the concept for it. And this really was Ashley's idea. And she wanted to do this with somebody else, really. And it didn't work out. Thank God for me. But we always say it's hard to go into business with somebody. I didn't really think about it. I didn't think like, am I going to buy my first house with this person?
I mean, it's not so easy. I mean, it's not hard. Like, I think we make it look easy, but like we have ups and downs, but they're just like, we really are always on the same page about stuff. And I just feel so grateful every day, whether I like tell you enough or not.
Yeah. And I love how this is growing. I think you're so creative. I think this is so fun. I love the direction it's gone in. And I'm glad that you said, yes, we made it look easy. It's not. I've had the worst fights I've ever had with anybody with you, but I've had the most amazing successes and growth. Yes. We'll talk about them. And there's been like 3 ever. But I've had the most growth with anybody and with myself via Ashley that I've ever had. And your family has become my family and we have all the same friends now. And if I look at my life and say like I've grown the most in these years, like it's this last 4 years for me in terms of how I think about friendship, how I think about my romantic relationships, my family. I say it all the time. I think this show has really allowed me to reconnect with so many people. So many people in our lives just get to like listen to us every week. And it's really special. And like the guests that have been on this show, like I can't believe I've had personal conversations with all these people, with assault survivors, with abortion doctors, with people that can talk to us about narcissism and boundaries and And so for me, like the growth through that has been like such an honor. And
Raina had to bring up Nedra Tawab. She just had to say boundaries.
Have an episode without her.
I can't not bring up Nedra Tawab.
I signed up for a newsletter.
Oh, you're such a stan. But yeah, I mean, and it's so great. Like, not to get like, this is not just our like love jerk off each other fest, but you know, we really spend an extraordinary amount of time together. And it just is so nice to like go to Miami like we did this past weekend and like just be like friends, like not like business partners. I mean, yeah, we had to do a little bit of work here and there, but it was just still nice to remember that like we still are friends first and can enjoy each other like on that level, which is that's not like a hot take. I mean, I
think it is though. I think probably when we have had fights or like grown apart over the years, it's been like that. I sometimes forget we're friends first. And I'm like, this isn't just my business partner. You know, this is my friend. This is my family. This is somebody who's I've taken all these family vacations with and spent all these holidays with. And, you know, that's always first in my mind that like we're friends first.
I agree. And I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about that doesn't work. And I was like, well, I disagree. And here's the proof, you know, like everybody's different. You know, Raina and I became best friends after we started the podcast. So we didn't go into it best friends. Maybe that would be a little bit different and I can't speak on it. So I get that when someone's like, don't do it. You know, I can't imagine working with your romantic partner. I think that is insane, but listen, you do you. When people live, work and play together, it's so as like romantic partners, I think it's kind of crazy, but it works for people. So, you know, we can disagree with that statement that you shouldn't like work with your best friends. Like it works out and we have like a high level of respect for each other as friends, family, and business partners.
I think that also like something else that's been really important is like, I think we know when to put the business first. I think that we take our egos out of stuff. And like one of us is perfectly happy to say, I think this is a bad idea or a bad move. And it's not like, I mean, of course we're respectful to each other, but like, I think we know that sometimes like it might not hurt somebody's feelings, but like the business comes first, you know, sometimes. I mean, always our friendship will come first, but when we make a decision, it's because we want the business to be good. It's because we want the audience to appreciate what's going on, you know? So I think, you know, we're not just yesing each other to death for the sake of getting along.
100%. Yeah.
I guess that's where I'm sort of driving that idea towards.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay. Well, thanks. Answer some questions.
Yeah, from you
guys. Thank you, and I love you.
Yeah, I love you, and we love this audience, obviously, and also to be able to get, you know, we're 2 years into this pandemic, to be able to get back on the road with you guys for the last year has just been so special, and we can't wait to be there with you this week in California.
Oh my God, we're doing
so many shows.
Okay, we just asked you guys. I had this idea in terms of like, do you feel like there's anything we haven't given you guys closure on? Basically, we took questions of all kinds. We said like, ask us anything basically, but like my feeling was like, is there somebody we dated? Is there something that we just, you know, sometimes we can't keep up. We've talked for so many fucking hours over the last 4 years. Like I just don't want to have anybody feeling like we left them hanging on anything.
100%.
So, I mean, yeah, there's some stuff that we just can't really talk about, you know, it's not.
We respect other people's privacy.
Yes, exactly.
That's
respect. Why. And of course, but like in terms of just stories that were our own, that had to do with us. Like we wanted to see what people thought, what people had wanted to know. All
right. Well, I'll get this out of the way first. Is Raina ever going to fuck Dylan? And people also asked if Jared and I have hooked up. Jared and I absolutely not. Have never hooked up. I respect him professionally. I think he's wonderful. Dylan, I do not respect professionally.
Oh my God.
No, Dylan and I know it seems like from the outside, I hate to like pull back the curtain too much, but I know it seems like we flirt a lot and we do, but that is really like fully my platonic, one of my closest friends. I just love him. We talk about, you know, you're platonic with somebody is that they talk to you about other women constantly and you talk to them about other men. So like the romantic part of a relationship has never existed. I think he's like so gorgeous and hot. We are never going to date or fuck or anything. And that's it. We just like to flirt.
Okay. Let me ask you this. I never asked you this. There was this moment in time, and listen, this was like a few days where Dylan and I were like, let's just be like really flirty on Instagram.
I hated it. I was out of town with Kane and I fucking hated it.
Oh my God. It all comes out. Okay. Also, yes. So now we know. I never asked Raina. I didn't care if she had a boyfriend. So
I was like, she waited until I got a boyfriend.
So Dylan and I just basically decided to be like, this is what she gets for getting a boyfriend. And he and I just started flirting very publicly. But the last thing we ever posted, because we were just out at the same time at the stand, that was like this flirty thing, like baby this, baby that, was the night I met that guy that disappeared.
That is so funny. That's what you get for flirting with for flirting with Dylan publicly.
So right.
I pulled that up. I was in Pittsburgh at a bar mitzvah with Kane, and I saw that on Instagram, and I was like, I'm going to jump off this balcony.
I actually feel like he was kind of leading the charge in that, and I was like, I don't think she's going to like it. Because I know you so well, but I was like, I'm doing it anyway.
Well, I had a boyfriend, so I didn't have a leg to stand on.
You didn't have a leg to stand on. And I literally go, and Dylan goes, you think she's going to be mad? I go, she doesn't have a leg to stand on.
So that's the story there.
That's a story. Listen, while we're here, people still ask about that guy. There is no update on the, guy that I went out with after the stand, little Frankie's guy, CIA guy, whatever you guys want to call him. People have so many different theories. I think my strongest theory to this day, well, is probably just he wasn't into me. But secondly, is that he had lied about something and maybe his age. Like I wonder if he was like literally a senior in college or like 22 or something. You know what I like? That's just kind of what I feel. I feel like there was some lie, and he was like, I'm just going to ride this for tonight and like see how it goes. And I don't know. That's what most people think.
My theory is theory number 3, which is that he was probably on the cusp of making somebody his girlfriend and was just like, I'm going to go out with this girl, have a good time. I'm not indebted to anybody in any way. And then I think maybe like they got a little more serious with that girl. But either way, we never found out.
And it's funny because I remember like after this happened talking with Allison and Rob about it, and Allison was like, he'll reach out. They always do, which is actually what I thought would happen. Like we talked about this last week with that guy who reached out after 2 weeks. Like they usually come back around. Like they just resurface after so long.
They always resurface.
But this never did, which is what I would have expected. Like if
Totally.
I just kind of thought I would hear from this guy like a month or two later, and it would be so insane, and I would never give it the time of day. But like that, I just have Allison in my head being like, they always come back. You know?
I mean, in our case specifically, at least that guy went to work and told some people at work he went on a date with the Girls Gotta Eat host, and
it's crazy
like
that no one
fan
ever
reached out.
I know. It is. That's part of it. It's less of like Ashley got ghosted. It's more just like, how did no one ever find him?
I know. I think maybe he didn't tell anybody because I feel like someone works with that guy who listens to our show. That's like an audience member
or goes to school with him.
It's in high school.
In high school, or goes to high school with him. Okay, let's just breeze through some of these burning questions. Raina, what happened to your fake dog Instagram, Bagel the Yorkie, and will you ever get a pet?
I never got a pet. I don't know if I'm going to get a pet. And I got logged out of that Instagram when I switched phones and I can't get into it. It was called Bagel the Yorkie. Maybe one day. It's just, I don't know if it's in the cards right now. We travel a lot. I don't know if that's...
You're an aunt too.
Yeah, right. I have a lot of animals. I mean, George, Bella's dog, is here all the time. And is also, my life is full of dogs and I don't have to clean up for them. I mean, I honestly feel like my life is perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I support it. I like you being the cool aunt to Azul.
Okay. And then people also asked in 2020, you said you were over plants. What is your updated feelings? Yeah, I'm over them. I pretty much...
Wait, you still have a bunch of plants.
Yes, but I'm slowly weeding them out and I'm just letting them die. What'd I say?
You said weeding them out. I love that.
I'm weeding them out. I am slowly letting some of them die. I have a lot of cactuses, so I have a lot of succulents that don't require a lot of work. Everything else I've pretty much replaced with like fake plants, feathers, whatever the fuck. It's too much work, you guys. At one point, I had like 50 plants. It was like a full-time job watering these plants.
I have 2, but I have a giant plant, and I'm obsessed with it, and it like changes the whole look of my apartment.
Oh, I love plants. I can't recommend it enough. I love Dahenge in New York. But it's like my favorite place in Chinatown.
2. Like,
yeah, 2. It's enough.
Yeah.
It's enough. I don't need anything else.
Okay. Any never released episodes floating around out there? Yeah.
Yeah. So one day we sat down and did a full episode about being sad.
And then we were like,
it was the middle of the pandemic. And we were just like, we should talk about how everybody's just feeling bad. We just wrapped it. What happened? I mean, first of all, we were just like, okay, we've done enough of this content.
Yeah, we just were like, that was so depressing and stupid.
I know. We were like, here's ways.
It's not stupid that you're sad or that we're sad. It just was like, what was the point of that? That was a real downer.
We gave all these like ideas for how to like feel better.
It was like self-care.
Right. You get it. It's woven into every episode.
Yeah, exactly. There was
one in LA that we recorded with this guy that just was not a fit.
Wasn't a fit. We kind of got bamboozled. on recording with him.
Yeah, a little bit. His agent essentially said that he was a fan, and he wasn't.
She was a fan.
Yeah, she was a fan.
It's a whole thing. It doesn't matter. We had studio space and everything. It just wasn't a fit. This is no shade to him. He's a great guy. I think he showed up and was like, what am I doing here?
He's like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
So we would just never obviously release an episode to you guys that is not good.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the worst one we never released.
Oh my God.
Listen, we had this guy who was a male escort come over to my apartment.
So we've talked about this at a lot of shows. You guys might have heard it at a live show, but now that story's kind of retired, so we can talk about it on the 4-year anniversary episode.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the topic was fantastic. Somebody pitched us on somebody that they knew. He was a male escort. The topic was really, really interesting. It wasn't that. The product wasn't great.
Yeah, he didn't talk about an exciting, sexy way. And we had like teased it for weeks like it was going to be sexy and exciting, and it just wasn't. And it's not, maybe it's not his fault. Maybe he's probably never done a podcast about being a prostitute, but it just wasn't a fit.
And we feel like if people aren't used to talking about things publicly, it's not necessarily always that good. So also he like owns a business now, and I think he was worried people are going to hear his voice.
Yeah, he was worried about it in the first place. You're right. He almost tried to bail. Like he wasn't. Yeah.
So how I got him to not bail was I invited him over to my apartment while Ashley was at her parents' house.
Yeah.
And I fed him full of tequila, and we recorded, and then I gave him a blowjob.
So right in line with today's episode.
I did. I finished the blowjob.
Wow. So he doesn't matter that we never released his episode.
No, he had a great time.
He got what he came for.
He had a great time.
And he did not charge her.
He did not charge me.
It was on the house.
I was worried. Listen, I was telling everybody this guy was coming over. I was like texting all of our friends. So yeah, I hooked up with him, and then we had some fun sexting experiences after that, and that was it.
Okay, people wanted to know what happened to the guy from Dewey Beach. Thank you. That's exactly the kind of stuff that I'm like, did I wrap this up enough? So that guy and I went out like a few times over Thanksgiving break, and then I went down there for Christmas, but I wasn't there that much because I had gotten COVID, so my trip was just shorter. Texted a little bit. He was working. He never came out. The last thing that happened was we went to watch football. We went to the Starboard to watch the Eagles game, and I was like, you want to come? And he had to work, and like that was just kind of it. I don't think it was like a love match,
Yeah.
So I think I had wanted to meet him and go out with him, and had a really good time, and nothing bad to say with that crazy fun night with the theme. And it's it. I mean, but it's like one of those things of like, I don't think the door's shut. We can hang out in the summer. I'd make out with him. Like it's not, you know what I mean?
When we say it all, just because it's not now doesn't mean it can't. It's not never. Is that proper?
Sure.
Not now doesn't mean ever. You guys feel
but
me.
I liked him. He's cute. Just it wasn't like there was no, for me, and I don't think from him either, is any sort of sense of urgency to date, and probably not my guy. Probably I'm not his girl. So
yeah. People asked what the bathing suit store fight was about. We joke a lot about this fight that we had in Sydney, Australia, in Bondi Beach at this store. I mean, listen, Ashley and I had been on a work trip together for a lot of days at this point. We had done live shows in San Diego, LA. We had traveled to Australia together. We had shows in Australia. I mean, you're not supposed to be with somebody 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I was in a bit of a funk because of something with a guy, which is just like, ugh, I hate that happens, but it does, and we can all relate. And Raina didn't like my bad mood. Raina was pissed because I was in a bad mood about her bad mood, and she apologized for her bad mood. And I was like, you need to apologize more.
I didn't apologize enough.
I didn't like her apology about her bad mood.
I said you were a little flippant about your apology, and then I was like a dog with a bone. I like wouldn't stop. I really like would not let it go. So that's what it was. I was holding this bathing suit in front of this store, like I was clutching to it for dear life. I like just wouldn't stop. So
I was like,
that's what it was.
I remember saying like, are you really mad because I didn't apologize enough?
That is what you said. And there's a moment where you're in your mind and you're like, that is what I'm mad about. It's fucking stupid. But you're just like, I can't back down now. So then you just keep going.
But there's more, I get it. You probably were like, Ashley's like in her head about this dumb fucking thing. She's not being herself. She's like not being as fun. And it like bothered you. I mean, I get it. But also, again, like you said, like we'd been together a lot at that point. I ultimately think Raina was jealous because I flew Delta One to Australia. And she was in the back of the plane. And you could have flown that too, but you didn't want to spend the money.
You know what I was upset about is that I went on that date that was not a date, that I thought it was a date with Matthew Hussey the day before. And Matthew Hussey, who's a former guest of ours, just got engaged, and thousands of people are like congratulating him. It's a post of him and his fiance, and like a bunch of our listeners were tagging me and being like, "Are you mad?"
Oh my God, guys, we're
so
good.
Funny. So that's what that was about. And like we said, of course we fight,
but it's there was just probably some stuff building up. You know what I mean? Like I'd probably said something. I'd probably snapped at you. You'd probably snapped at me. Like it's just little things that we can't even remember because they like weren't even a big deal. Like had probably built up to that point. A couple quick things about, let's see, people asked about this Dave and Buster's guy. This was the guy I was dating at the very beginning of the podcast. He was a younger guy. He was super hot. We had great sex, great dirty talker. One time he like bent me over my kitchen counter. Dewey knocked over the coat rack because he was pissed, like whatever. It was great. We just had a kind of a sexual relationship. I realized I didn't want to date him. I went on a dinner date with him and I sat across from him and was like, I absolutely do not want to date this person. He held his fork with his fist, he was shoveling. Yeah. Anyway, it wasn't even about his manners. I was just like, this is somebody I never want to go to dinner with again. I will definitely fuck him again. And what happened was one night we went out and it was like a friend's birthday and like I just got really drunk and like just kind of blew it up. Like I just acted like stupid and like I think deep down I just wanted to like blow it up in a very immature way. And I got too drunk and I apologized to him the next day and was like, I'm really sorry. Like you didn't deserve that. Like, I think I ultimately didn't know how to end this thing, you know? And I think I just got drunk and acted like a lunatic and apologized the next day. And like, that was it.
That was it. You guys asked why my ex and I broke up. You know, I think I've said all that I'm gonna ever say about it. You guys can go listen to the breakup episode. I was vague about things that I want to be vague about, and I was honest about things, and I respect his privacy. I hope he respects mine. I don't listen to his show, but it didn't work out. You know, sometimes people don't work out. There's not some like huge big story. No one cheated. No one did anything terrible. That was just not the long-term match. And I think he probably feels the same way. And that's that. It's not salacious. We spoke one time since the breakup and I don't have any like ill feelings towards him. I follow him on Instagram. I wish him the best. And that's just sort of like that. Sometimes relationships just don't work out.
I think people want to know like who dumped who. And I would say that Raina chose to end it, but then we talked about it and we were like, it was a little gray. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like you didn't just blindside this person and dump him, nor did he do that to you. And he kind of, you kind of did a thing, then he kind of did a thing, then you kind of did a thing. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't, it's not that easy. It just, and none of these things were so terrible. It was just kind of like this relationship just started to fizzle out essentially.
Yeah.
And I guess you'd pulled the final trigger, but it wasn't that, you know what I mean? It wasn't some of like, I'm dumping you.
100%. He moved here for a little while to see how we like living in New York. And I think pretty much instantly he realized he didn't want to be here. And I didn't know if I wanted him to be here. And we talked about it constantly. We had a lot of conversations leading up to it. And it just wasn't some like, neither one of us blinds. I think we were just adults about it. We discussed it a lot. And then, you know, just because one person drops the hammer doesn't mean, you know, it isn't sort of over anyways. So
Raina dropped the hammer.
I mean,
anyway,
Ashley said it, so
I said it. People want to know if me and Mike Johnson, nothing. Rachel Lindsay has not stepped up to the plate.
No, she hasn't.
People want to know, but I mean, we can always text whenever and, you know, speak fake Spanish to each other. And sun, moon, and rising sign. Do you know this, Raina? Do you know yours?
No,
Mecca Woods, years ago, we did an astrology episode. She told us ours. So you can go back and listen if you want to hear that. But mine is Cancer, Sun, Cancer, Moon, Rising Scorpio. Just a lot of emotion.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Like a lot of like sensitivity and emotion.
Cancer and a rising Scorpio.
Wow. Okay. The Toronto date of the show. You want to drop it? It's Saturday, June 4th.
Do I want to drop it? Then you dropped it. No, yeah. We guys, like, listen, we worked this out. Save the date. Maybe it's supposed to be Saturday, June 4th. We're so excited. Saturday night in Toronto. We can't wait, but we just don't know what's going on. And this is clearly not a time to sell tickets. Canada's still closed to big events or something. I can't keep up with everywhere in the world. Bottom line is when we get told that we can announce this and sell tickets, then we will. And if it maybe there's a chance it doesn't happen, I never know what's going on. Never know what's going on up there.
Never know what she's doing.
Never know what she's doing back there.
People ask a lot in that question side, do you guys have a favorite episode or a favorite guest? I mean, I always have the most fun when it's me and you, and I always enjoy it the most. I don't have a number one favorite. I'm always really just proud when we can put out any kind of hot take. Yeah, every episode that I do is our favorite episode. No,
I'm saying because it's the blowjob episode.
Oh yeah, I'm the most excited to record
that we haven't even gotten to yet.
But I mean, I don't know. I tend to gravitate towards authors I've really enjoyed or therapists. I don't know.
Mine's the child-free episode.
The child-free episode?
Yeah, but it's the episode about not wanting kids is my favorite episode. The one that I feel the most proud of. The one that took the longest to like get the, not even courage, but just like be ready to do. And I'm so proud of it. And that's my favorite, but like, that's not even a funny one. You know what I mean? So like, there's so many that I love. Like they're all like our children. I mean, there are some that we don't like.
Anytime you guys message us, I mean, and say that we have given you the words to feel more confident in anything, whether it's, you know, changing your relationships, your friendships, your jobs, whatever it is, feel more confident in not having children and how to manage those conversations. It's always such an honor. And that's the stuff that like means the most to me. I mean, obviously Esther Perel is the person that I worked the hardest to get. We waited the longest to have. And I think talking about fidelity and cheating is so interesting because I think she reframes what I think about monogamy. And I think that's an interesting message to put out into the world. So I'm really proud of that. And of course, like I said, the most fun I ever have is just when we are alone, which is why we're doing less guests now.
Definitely the Chelsea Handler episode.
That was my least favorite episode and my least favorite guest. You heard it here first.
Oh, shit. Bella just from the back. Tea. Someone asked what happened with that. Basically, it still was just like doubling down on the like denying of it. And it was crazy because we told you guys that they tried to say it was another podcast, which was an insane person to blame. And we listened to it and it absolutely was not. So it was just like lies upon doubling down upon lies and being like, we would never do that. And it's like, well,
but you did.
But what do you mean you wouldn't? Who would you do it to? You know what I mean? So anyway, we don't need to go there, but there were questions about it. So that's really it.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready? An hour in.
Okay. Blowjobs. I'm very excited. It's probably the number one question that I get asked is how do I give a better blowjob? How do I enjoy it more? It's one of the most things people DM me about the most often and say like, I finished my first blowjob. I enjoyed my first blowjob. And it's always really exciting. I understand not everybody loves it. I am going to help you love it. At least enjoy it or tolerate it a little bit more.
So, you know what I just wanted to say is that someone said this to me recently, and I felt this in my soul as well. Someone said to me, my life changed, and I realized I didn't have to blow someone to completion. Like, I think you grow up thinking you got to spit or swallow someone's cum. You know what I mean? I think you grow up, you hear, do you spit or you swallow? Like, you hear all this stuff. And I think you sometimes go through life until maybe you're like, you know, in your 20s even or later where you are intimidated by this thought of like, you have to finish someone off. And I love that she said that, whoever you are,
wherever you are. But
I remember feeling
let the record show it's on my notes. So really? I was also going to say it.
Oh, I just remember thinking that too of like, oh, like guys go down on me and I don't come, you know, it's part of foreplay. So I think when you take the pressure of like finishing a guy, trying to figure out what to do with his cum in your mouth, like it becomes way less intimidating. I don't know that this is a hot take, but it might be a little bit of a hotter take for a lot younger women.
Yeah. First of all, Ashley and I fully believe if you don't like something sexually, don't do it. If you're like, it makes me gag, I don't enjoy it. But if the only reason why you don't enjoy it is because you think you're maybe bad at it, we can help you.
Yep.
And I totally agree with Ashley. I think one of the first things to remember is like, this is just part of foreplay. This does not have to be a full start to finish. I love giving blowjobs. I don't need to finish a blowjob. My eyes, my tears are running down my face. There's cum in my mouth. I don't have to do it.
I think the term is a little, have we talked about this before? Like I feel like the blowjob does feel like you finish the job. Sucking dick is just sucking dick. Do it however long you want.
Sucking dick is just sucking dick. Ashley has some time. I'm just here to party. Sucking dick is just sucking dick, man.
I could have pissed myself.
I'm not here to finish the job. I'm just here to suck some dick.
That is so, I'm just here to party energy. It's the exact energy. I don't know. Okay.
So I'll tell you why I really enjoy it. maybe someday you can get to the elite level, which is that I actually masturbate to thoughts of giving blowjobs. That's how much I enjoy it. The reason why I enjoy it is that I find a lot of power in making somebody else feel that great. It's not, first of all, it's not something somebody can do to themselves. So even if it's like, our friend Francis Ellis was talking about hand jobs, and he was like, it's great because like you're doing it. It's like, guys like it because you're doing it. And how cool and fun is that you want to put their dick in your mouth? And I love like the sounds a man will make while you are sucking their dick. I love like looking at their face while I'm in the middle of it. I love hearing the moans. And then like, I love to wake up in the morning, jerk somebody off a little bit, get between their legs, suck their dick, take my panties off, hop on top, and I'm finished in 2 minutes. I'm
love
all
that
set.
energy.
I don't have to finish the blowjob. I think that people might be surprised because I say like, I love blowjobs so much. You don't have to swallow the cum. I'm perfectly happy if you want to finish it in my mouth. I will go spit it in the sink. I don't have to swallow your semen. Or if you want to, do that too. But you certainly have to put that in your stomach if you don't want to.
Yes. And when I my whole thing, and this came up when we asked you guys for tips too, like I've been saying this since probably episode 2, like blowjobs are for boyfriends. Sucking dick, we can be dating. You know, like when I say a blowjob's for a boyfriend, that means that your semen is in my mouth and I have to figure out what to do with it. But if I'm dating someone, I'll put their dick in my mouth, someone that I'm like into. But I mean, it's been a minute. Listen, I haven't had a dick in my mouth since before COVID. I've hooked up with guys. I've had sex with guys. I've gone on tons of dates, but like it hasn't gotten to that point. Like I usually, like I'm thinking of the last dick I had in my mouth. We were just casually dating, but I was not going down there and trying to get him to come. Like it's been, you know, that's where, I guess that's my clarification on my rule.
Yeah, and I'm glad you clarified it because it's one of the first things on our list. I don't really agree that blowjobs are just for boyfriends. I understand the thinking, which is that like it's a very intimate thing to put somebody's genitals in your mouth. So yeah. So I don't know that I'm out here sucking the dick of somebody who I'm not dating, at least. It's not the first thing on the menu for me when I start hooking up with somebody. Like they can go down on me, we can fuck. I'm not sucking someone's dick sight unseen, just like the first sexual experience with them. But I think that like, listen, you can get really in your head about like how much spit am I supposed to use? Should I make eye contact? How fast am I supposed to be going? Should I stick a finger in their butt? What do I do with the balls? Like before you do any of that, just like put someone's dick in their mouth, lick it, suck it, let a little bit of your spit drip down it, make eye contact with the person while you're doing it. I think that you will find that it is like really fun to like see someone just like buck a little bit and like the way that their body moves and like you're just giving them pleasure. I feel that it's so powerful and so sexy.
Yeah. And you really need to just get into it. You got to kind of hype yourself up because if you don't want to go down there, they're going to feel that energy. I think at the end of the day, a lazy blowjob is still a blowjob or an unexcited blowjob is still a blowjob. But like, just somehow hype yourself. Just be like, I'm about to like make this guy that I'm really into feel so fucking good. I'm a queen. I can suck a dick. Like say whatever affirmation you need to do before you go down there. And if you're like, I just can't, I just don't want to do this, then just don't do it. Maybe you'll feel like you can do it again tomorrow. I mean, I think like you said first, you know, you're not going to put some stranger's dick in your mouth. Listen, I'm probably not either, but I think almost strangers or boyfriends are like the best people to practice on because not strangers, but like a one night stand. Like, yeah. There's something because then you don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And you can just get after it, or somebody that you seriously trust. Probably the most intimidating is someone that you are newly dating that you're trying to impress, but also then again, that's the person you want to impress. So when I think about the times to like really get into it. And when I say that, I mean like the noises, I think it's intimidating for somebody. I think you hear all the time, like make noise, act like you're choking on his dick, or just at least like seem like you're enjoying it so much. And I bet a lot of women get in their heads about that and they feel fucking stupid doing that.
Yeah. And you don't have to like,
so do it with a stranger.
I think there's 1,000 bells and whistles that you can add onto this menu to make it more exciting. But I think just like in the beginning, it's just a nice way. Listen, maybe you don't like having sex for a super long time and it'll shorten the sex experience, you know, just get on your knees and do it. I think it's a really nice way to
hold on, get on your knees. Also, if that's unappealing to you, be in the bed.
Yeah. Whatever is unappealing, don't do it. Yeah. You know, I love to be on my knees.
No, but like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we have these like movie Blowjob in our heads of
Right.
like, you got to be on your knees. My knees, I'm aging and we have bad knees in my family, and I'm not trying to get on my knees unless I have some carpet underneath there.
Carpet. I like when I'm like sitting on a couch and someone is standing up, fucking my face. There's no way I won't suck a dick. It's all good. But I also think that like one of the best things about a blowjob is getting the verbal encouragement from your partner. And I had a friend that was like, my boyfriend just doesn't make any noises while I do it, so I don't like doing it. Tell them. What guy doesn't want their dick sucked? Say to a guy, I would like you to make some noise and act like I'm not bothering you while I'm down here. Could you get into it, please? Or I'm not going to do it.
Right. Yeah. And I wonder then it's like, which came first, you know, the chicken or the egg, like which came first, her not being excited. And then so him not being excited, you know what I mean? Like this sounds like kind of like a cyclical thing between the two of them. Like, I mean, I hate to say this, but like you have to like sort of worship their dick a little.
Ashley is holding her body.
I hate it. But
She's
like,
not
you have
safe.
to act like you love it. You know what I mean? Like you have to just...
Well, I mean, every guy will tell you that their best blowjobs are not because somebody, again,
had
pulled
some
out all these
technique,
tricks
yes.
and tips. It's because she seems like she loves what she's doing. She is at work and she's going to be the best in the company, okay? Yeah. So that is what people enjoy, just some enthusiasm. I mean, think about it in the reverse. Think about the best sex or the best oral sex you've ever had.
Yes.
It's just because you're in sync with a person and they seem like they're enjoying themselves. I've had people go down on me half-assed. I don't want it. I don't want you down there just spitting all over my clit. Get out of there.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, there is technique, and we're going to talk about today. So, I mean, don't get it twisted. But yeah, enthusiasm and like some technique.
Yeah, we'll talk about technique, but like, listen, I want to wrap the last thought up. If your partner does not make a lot of noise or give you a lot of verbal affirmations, literally say to them, I want to enjoy this more. I think it'd be fun for us. I just need a little bit like more encouragement. I think it's like a funny thing to say. I think it's light. I think it's easy. Nobody doesn't want a blowjob. They'll do whatever you need to enjoy it a little bit more.
Yeah. But if this is a silent person that's like never talks in the bedroom, like maybe you get them there before, like, listen, it can be a little weird if someone's all the way down there, you know, and you're talking into the abyss.
I'm not talking about moaning. I'm talking about just like,
but I know, but like,
moaning.
I feel like the guy that's totally silent during a blowjob is the guy that's totally silent during sex too. So, you know, get them there with, when did we talk about this recently? What was this, a recent episode or is it upcoming? Like just, you know, little things like, do you like that? Like asking them like noises, like, if they're just totally nonverbal, it's probably carrying throughout the whole sexual experience. So maybe you start more with like just generally when you guys are like hooking up, you're fucking, like when you're right in their ear, because it might be a little less, it might be a little easier for a guy that's more silent to make a noise or say something in your ear rather than like saying it into the air while you're down at their crotch.
Totally.
You know what
100%.
I mean? Yeah.
And then, yes, we'll talk about technique, but if you were like, I don't know what my man likes at all, here's 2 surefire ways to do it. Listen, if you're too shy to ask what they like for a blowjob, you're probably not going to do this, but try it. Tell them you want to watch them masturbate. You will see exactly what they do with their hands. And you don't have to say like, I don't like to watch you jerk off. You just, you know, I want you to touch yourself in front of me. I'll touch myself in front of you. It's so hot and sexy. Watch the way they stroke their dick. Okay. You do that too. Just mimic it with your hand. And then the second way that I find is a really good way, roadhead. Once you sign up for Roadhead, you got to finish the job. Don't sign up for something you don't want to finish. So you have to finish the job. But I will tell you, no guy wants you just sort of like half-ass sucking their dick and they're never going to come. They will tell you what it takes to make them come in a car. Okay?
Okay.
One of my favorite listen, I sucked my ex's dick from on the road in Key West, just in a car on the road.
Listen, that's an easy drive. If you got a real twisty, turny drive ahead of you, I don't recommend it. I'm too scared.
That's true. I picked a road that
really
was just
easy.
straight.
Miami to Key West is like a really solid, just one road.
Can't recommend it enough. Suck a dick on that road.
100%.
You know, I learned
A1A.
this. Ashley knows the road.
Isn't it A1A?
My mom called me like 2 seconds after I finished. She was like, "You're not going to answer," and I was like, "I just sucked a dick on a road. No,
like
I'm not going to answer."
Like, I'm sorry, Mom.
But he said something and it really surprised me. He was like, I was like sucking his dick and he was like, "Do you want me to come?" I was like, "Yeah, can you finish?" And he was like, "Twist your hand while you're going up and down on my dick." And I didn't know that was something he likes. Not every guy likes that. Some guys like just the straight up and down. I didn't know he wanted me to like twist my hand, and it was like instant he came.
I love that. Yeah, that you were able to figure that out.
And I got to figure out what he liked, and then I did it every single time.
Yeah. I think you got to keep the dick engulfed in something, your mouth and your hand, a combo of the both. Obviously it's not going to be your whole mouth or just your hand, but like think of it that a cold draft enters the room. Can they catch any of that breeze on their dick? Like, let's keep it totally locked up and covered. Like it should feel like it's penetrating something, you know what I mean? So, and I think when it comes to two hands, if you can fit both hands or part of both hands, like the guy's going to feel like he has a big dick.
If you are sucking a dick that you need two hands and a mouth to suck, congratulations, girl. Your man is huge.
It's not that they're both sacked on. I mean, listen, I have seen dicks that big and I've had my hands on them, but like, yes, two hands, your whole hand, and then your mouth is, most dicks are not that big, but like if you can somehow even get like half of one on there or something like that, like they will feel like it's bigger. And on that note, I also think don't tell a guy that his dick is so big if it's small. I think if it's medium and it's rock hard, like you can use those words, but like
your cock is perfect.
Yeah, perfect is good. Like you're so hard, you like whatever. But I think that just straight up lying, because like, you know, it's a lie. You know, you got a small dick. But so yes, if the small dick, maybe you can barely even get one hand on it, but don't just like bob up and down on the tip with your mouth. Like get a hand around it.
Well, also, I mean, this accomplishes two things. I'm not trying to listen. I know some guys are very into like the choking sounds and your eyes are full of tears and like you are just like slobbering all over the place. It's very sloppy. It's not necessarily my style. So if you guys are like, I'm choking, I'm gagging, this accomplishes that you don't have to go as far down on the dick. I always do one hand on the dick. My hand follows my mouth the entire time.
Yep.
It comes all the way off almost. I go completely almost up to completely the top and sort of like grip it, like pinch it off. Like I'm pinching off a tube every single time. And like, then sometimes you can take your mouth off the dick and just use your hand. It's real sloppy.
100%. If you're getting like your mouth gets tired, then that's what your hands are for. Yes. And I've definitely seen people talk and post about a technique where you have both your hands twisting in opposite directions. I don't know if everybody wants that, but I think if the dick is wet enough, you can do it. I think it's very high level. And if you feel like you're trying this technique and you're failing, like don't beat yourself up. But I'm thinking of your ex who liked the twisting. Like, do you think you would have liked going both directions?
No, and I've never met anybody that really enjoyed that. Like most guys just want like straight up and down. Again, everybody is different. And like, I think it is so sexy to say to your partner or the person you're sleeping with, like, show me how you want me to do this and have them like walk you through it. I think it is so hot and sexy. Not every guy's comfortable with that. Like, I feel like if we weren't driving a car, this guy specifically like probably wouldn't have done that. He's a little more conservative. So like, I think it's sexy to say to your partner, teach me how to do this. How much some people want like spit running down their ball sack, just all over the place into their butt crack. Other people don't want that.
Right.
I try to I always have hand and mouth at the same time. I will take my mouth off of it and just sort of like squeeze at the top a little bit, just like stroke the top really, really wet and talk to them a little bit. I think it's incredible if you can get in front of some kind of mirror and they can watch you do it. Unbelievably sexy and hot. You could hum a little bit if you want to. You can vary how fast and how slow that you're going, but everybody's dick is different, just like everybody's different to go down on. Like some people want vaginal penetration while you're also like licking their clit. Everybody's dick is different. I just think that what you said in the beginning is like, the point is to like worship their dick. Like guys just want to feel like you're really into it. Just like I want to feel like you're really into doing whatever it is that you're doing to me.
Yeah.
So I think if you're having fun, they will have fun. I try to do an average amount of spit. I'm not trying to like slobber all over the place. I pretty much ignore the balls unless someone particularly requests it as an add-on to the menu.
So I want to talk about the balls. I've said it before. I like the way they feel in my hand. I like to twist them around like marbles. Yeah. Like it's a stress reliever. What are we, stressticles? That already exists, but, or we would have started it, but pressure on the balls, cupping them, having them in your hand. Guys do want it. I don't know the percentage. I know that some of them do. My take on that is figure that out even before the blowjob. So you can do that when you're just hooking up and you reach down there when you're like horizontal, face to face, and you can like whisper in their ear, do you want me to touch your balls or whatever you want to make it sexy about. Like gauge the ball play before you go down to suck his dick, because then you just know, because again, I think you might hear a like, nah, I don't really care about it. You can also ask him it over dinner. Who cares? Like depending on your comfort level with your partner, but a sexy time time to ask it is like before you get down there and you don't know what to do, is find out if they even care about it.
100%. Like, I'm not trying to play with them. I mean, let's talk about asshole play. So every person's different. I do believe that most men enjoy it and like it and want it, but maybe you're like, I'm not sticking my finger in a guy's asshole. Can't recommend the taint enough. Okay. When you are sucking some guy's dick and your other hand is on their dick, use the other hand to just stroke their taint just lightly. I promise you, they will come so hard. The whole area is very sensitive. So even if a guy is like, I don't know about my asshole, just stroke their taint a little bit while you're going up and down on their dick. That is the finale. I promise you, they will come crazy hard.
What's it called? The perineum. Is that right? Also, you don't go into their butthole without consent. That goes without saying.
100. I mean, some people really just don't want it. Like the last person I dated,
do
just
not
like
stick your
didn't
finger
want it.
in a butthole without asking. Just don't do it.
I think that you can like rim someone's, if you're like, I just really want him to be into it. Like, it's just like anything. We talked about this with Colette, who's dominatrix. She's like, you don't have to go full throttle with things. Like, just touch someone's asshole lightly. See if they like that. Touch their taint lightly. See if they like that.
And if they're standing, if you're, Charlotte and Harry in that one episode of, and just like that, they're standing and you are on your knees. I mean, sometimes you might have a hand almost like behind on their butt, like, because so you're not just, so you're steadying yourself in a way.
You need to brace,
you know what I mean? Yeah. And there's a lot of nerve endings. What did you say?
You need to brace your body.
Like, and there's a lot of nerve endings back there too. Like, I love a light touch. I don't really think guys like it as much as we do, but just like touching around the area that all that's down there is like very sensitive. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But like, I'm on my knees again, my knees a little dicey. Like, I might lose my balance. I might have to grab a butt cheek.
Ashley's holding on to both cheeks. You can bring vibrators into it. I have this vibrator that I like a lot. It looks like a little lipstick almost, and it's a very, very light vibration. That's also something that's really nice to just like put on their taint or put on their asshole.
But I like ask again,
Yeah. I mean, or be like me and do it to somebody without consent. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't care about that guy. So just do it lightly. I think that you will just like blow somebody's mind. But like, I think the foreplay is such an important part of sex, and any little things you can do. This should be the least embarrassing thing that you can talk to your partner about. So like, people are like, how do I discuss my fantasies? How do I ask for things I want? How do I give you a better blowjob? Should just be like an easy, fun thing. This is just for them.
I actually think you're so right of it being pretty easy to answer question. Like, again, like some people are just totally uncomfortable talking about any of this stuff, but it feels like a way easier question for a guy to answer than like, tell me about your deepest, darkest fantasies. Like, especially after a drink or two, how can I give you a better blowjob? He's gonna be like, twist. He's gonna just say something. Like, especially if you've already sucked his dick, because then he was thinking of something probably that he wished that you were doing differently, or not. Maybe you're just killing it. But like, just ask is like such a great way to do it. And like, ask in the heat of the moment. This is one of those things too, of like, if you are hot and heavy, like everybody's fucking rock hard, soaking wet, just making out, you're ready to go down there, like whisper in their ear, like, tell me how to suck your dick better. Like, whatever. What's a better line? I'm not in the moment. So I'm like, this would come to me, but
I
like,
would say, teach me how to suck your dick.
Yeah. Tell me how to suck your dick better. Like anything, like you could whisper, like, I just want to suck your dick. Tell me what I can do. Like anything like that. Just, they'll say the thing, most likely.
Teach me how to suck your dick whispered in someone's ear is so hot. Oh my God. And if you're just like, I don't know what to say, I'm like shy in person, sext. Can't recommend it enough. Not everybody's like a fucking weirdo like me wants to have phone sex all the time, okay? But sexting is perfect. I just want to suck your dick. Tell me what you'd want me to do to you if I was there. They'll tell you.
Yep, 100%.
And then you have a receipt of it.
Yeah, and then you have the receipt.
But I think it should be really fun. I think it should be exciting and enjoyable. You don't have to enjoy it as much as me, but honestly, I can masturbate and come just to thinking about like the sounds and the way somebody was like humping my face. I love it.
Yeah, and like it's just like anything else. I mean, if you guys are like on the Peloton or whatever you're doing, they say stuff like you can do anything for 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Like you can get, like if you're like, I'm intimidated, like I don't know whether I spit or swallow or what to do, we'll talk about it. But like go down there for 2 minutes. Like you can do anything for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Every once in a while, I just like lift my head up. I make eye contact. I like to let them
listen,
like,
that's not for everybody.
That's
some elite shit.
What?
I don't think I'm making eye contact. I'm just feeling like I don't need to lock eyes with the dude while his dick is in my mouth.
Okay, well, I will tell you what sort of seems elite, but like it's not totally. So if we remove the need to make somebody come, like all the pace, the speed, the deep throating, where's the cum gonna go, and you just focus on this being a really fun foreplay thing for like 3 minutes, I think it can be a lot of fun. So like, all right, we're not gonna make them come. So just go down there and like give them a show, tease the dick, spit on it, make it real sloppy, and then you like lean forward with your tits a little bit when it's like real wet, and you just like rub it between your tits. You go up and down. I know it sounds really dirty. Just like rub it on your lips, give them a show, make some eye contact. They will be begging you to fuck them, and then you can just stop. The nodder you can make it for 3 minutes, tit fucking yourself, and I'm gonna spit all over your dick and make it so wet. The more that you can have them begging to fuck you, or they'll just come. The thought of this is so naughty.
I don't think I can put a dick between my tits. I don't think they're the right size. I would have to squeeze them so tight together. And then I'm using my arms to squeeze them. And then what am I doing with my hands? Like, it would be so awkward.
So you can just rub the dick on your nipples. A guy will lose their mind.
What, Raina? No.
If you put a guy's dick,
just like coloring your nipples with this guy's dick like it's a highlighter.
I can't relate. I'm like trying to put myself in the place of somebody that can't have like a soaking wet dick between their tits.
Listen, maybe I'm not about a titty fuck, and it's not for everybody. I'm not making eye contact, and I'm not titty fucking, and that's just me, Ashley Hesseltine.
I'm not titty fucking Ashley Hesseltine.
I'm not going to titty fuck you. I physically can't.
The point is, you want to make this short, not worry, like, can I go so fast? What am I going to do with the cum? Make this 3 minutes. They're going to either fuck you or cum, and it'll be over.
Well, I'll tell you what I don't want to do. And I'm not like a germaphobe, but there is something about just sucking a dick that's been at work all day that I just don't want it. Like, you've been at your desk or you've been up on your feet bartending. Like, it's really kind of gamey down there. Like, it's just not like, so do the straight out of the shower blowjob. Like I love a out of the shower hookup. Like I have one time I remember like with an ex where like, I don't even know what happened. Like we just had both gotten out of the shower. We were both in towels and like, we just like threw him up against the wall. I think about it, like masturbate to it. Like there's just, you're clean, you know what I mean? Like if you smell good, like if you feel like you just don't want that clammy dick in your mouth, like just wait till he gets out of the shower and surprise him with a blowjob.
Who doesn't love that?
But you know, sometimes you're just in the heat of the moment, but like, I just have always been a little weird about like a sweaty dick in my mouth.
Yeah, whatever turns you on. I mean, it's called a job for a reason. You are performing this. So like whatever is going to make this more pleasurable for you, that's what you should do. And then in terms of spitting or swallowing, I pretty rarely swallow, to be honest. Like I don't need to swallow the matter that just came out of your body. I don't need to. And I think that like someone comes in your mouth and you just hop up and walk to the bathroom, wash your mouth out and come back. They're still laying there post-orgasm. They're not thinking about you. They're not like, I can't believe she didn't fucking swallow it. I don't need to swallow your cum.
Yeah.
You can finish on my tits if you want. You can finish on my chin, on my lips, whatever you want. I don't feel like swallowing it. I don't want to do it.
I think a lot of, obviously I know a lot of guys want to finish in your mouth. They want the whole experience. And like, sometimes if it depends on the guy, like if they're not like super sensitive, you can even like hold their dick a little bit longer, like after they've already come, but that's very a swallowing type of thing. Like, I don't know that the jump up is so sexy, but it's whatever. You already came. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, so Nikki Glaser has a bit about spitting and swallowing and how like it can get awkward when you like have to go to the bathroom and they have roommates, and her bit is so funny. She's like talking to his roommates while she's waiting on the bathroom. She has cum in her mouth. She's like, what are you guys watching? Like, it's so funny. So at least figure out where you're going to spit it. You know what I mean? Maybe if you're worried about this whole spitting, swallowing thing, it's giving you anxiety, make sure you know where you're going to spit it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
a cute bucket next to the bed.
I've actually like never worried that it wasn't sexy when I hop up, because I'm just like, whatever, I've done you a favor, so I don't fucking care. But like, yeah, if you don't want it in your mouth, like I think you can let somebody come on your tits if you want. Like, that's very hot. It's for special occasions only. It's not all the time. I don't love being covered in cum. I know I love cum, but I don't really want to be covered in it all over my body.
Well, that feels like you're not laying down too. You know what I mean? Like, which is fine. Like, coming in the tits is like sexy, but that feels more of a like they're in some way standing or something too, because then they're like pointing down.
I can point their dick in my tits.
Okay, sure. Oh my God.
Or make them finish themselves. Who cares? But like, I think that, yeah, obviously the sexiest would be to swallow it, but like, I'm just not trying to swallow loads of cum all the time. So I just don't
listen. I think if you want to swallow, you think that's sexy, definitely go for it. I don't even know if I want to be the girl that swallows. Like, I don't know if I want people to be like, that Ashley Hasseltine, just swallow your cum.
Cum dumpster. Ashley Hasseltine.
You know, look, but it's also fine. That's no judgment. I just don't know if I need that to be my rep.
I'm not doing it that often. That's where I'm at in life. I'm not doing it very often. I'm gonna spit it out in the sink kind of gal.
I'm gonna spit it out in the sink. I'm gonna be spitting. All right. Should we just work through some of these tips that our listeners had?
Yes, you guys are so amazing. You had so many good tips. Okay, so this one really surprised me. I didn't know this. Squeeze your thumb on your left hand to avoid gagging.
Okay. So we're just doing pressure points with our hands and no hands on the dick. I mean, do what you got to do, but what are we doing here? You got your mouth on a dick. Your other two hands are doing reflexology.
I think that if it is so
Bella,
bad.
What?
And then you have the other hand. So like,
Bella's explaining
it's
it to
only
us.
one hand.
Wait, what do you mean? Explain this to me again. Oh, you're using your index finger to squeeze your thumb.
I thought it meant like something. Okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying, Bella. Bella, dick sucking queen over there. I'm kidding.
my mom's gonna be like, oh.
Listen, your mom wore a
Kimberly,
leather
shout out to-
corset to our live show. Your mom sucks dick, Bella.
Okay. So you put your hand in your palm.
Yeah.
So make a fist with your inside of your whatever.
We didn't talk about gagging that much and deep throating. I don't really like to gag a lot. I know, like, I guess some guys like it. I've never sucked a dick on a man that the guy was like, I wish you were gagging more or choking. Like, I'll deep throat it like a little bit. I just don't need to. Like, I guess that's some people's like trigger point. And they really like it. It's just, that's not what's going to make me enjoy the experience. So I'm not doing it. I'm blowing you so that I can enjoy it. And I don't enjoy fucking gagging to death.
Right.
I don't like
my
it.
eyes are watering. Like, it's not for me. But also, like, totally, if you're like, I want to make this guy think I'm choking on his dick, do it.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. I'm just saying, personally, it hits the back of my throat, and sometimes I like throw up a little in my mouth. I'm not trying. My eyes are watering. I don't want to do it. Not for me.
Yeah, Raina's making eye contact. She's got tears streaming down her face.
And throw up.
Yeah. So someone said put an ice cube in your mouth before you suck.
It's temperature variation.
Just for have it be cold.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it is a really like crazy sensation for the temperature variation.
I get that. Also, like, I think you can do like minty gum too. You can do a little winter fresh. Okay, we got some tips for the balls.
Okay, tips for the balls: fondling the balls with one hand while holding the shaft with the other while sucking.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, just kind of do them in your hand. But I just think if they don't want ball play, then you're wasting a hand, you know?
Yeah.
So find out.
I'm trying to brace myself with the other hand. Okay, playing with the balls like they're marbles, like Ashley loves.
Yep.
Lick the balls to the butt crack.
Like from the balls to the butt crack.
From the balls to the butt crack. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not trying to like get in a man's butt with my tongue. Unless he's straight out of the shower.
Or firmly separate the balls from the shaft with your thumb. Tickle balls with fingers of the same.
Tickle?
Yeah, tickle.
Does anyone want that?
All right, let me hit you with something no one wants. And this girl submitted, have them sit on your face. It's hot, I promise. Nope. I will suck a dick in any position, any mode of transportation. I'll do it all. You can't sit on my face. You can 100% fuck my face. I'm thinking this one time that like my ex and I he was like on top of me. We were like hooking up. His pants are off. And he like got on his knees sort of.
Wait, hold on, where were you?
We were in a bed.
But you were laying down?
I was laying down on my back. He like got on his knees next to me and I like rolled on my side. He fucked my face.
Yeah, I don't like someone fucking my face. Like, I don't want a guy grabbing my head. I fucking hate I hate it. I mean, with the right partner, like where I'm like, we have so much love and trust, maybe, but like a man is not going to sit his ass on my face.
What the fuck? How much does your man weigh?
I also don't want to kink shame her. Like, I mean, it's not for us, but if she's having dudes sit on her face, live your truth.
Whatever makes you guys happy. I can't think of a scenario where I've been happy. Also, by the way, if somebody's sitting on me, I don't have like the movement ability that I want. I want to be able to like bob and sway, and you're pinning my shoulders down.
Yeah.
Okay. Swirl the tongue. To me, I feel like too much like tongue razzle dazzle is not necessary. Again, some people like it. A little flick of the tongue. I'm licking the whole way up.
Yeah,
I'm not
of the tongue.
I'm not swirling it necessarily.
Maybe it's like, maybe she means even just more of a like foreplay thing. I mean, when the dick is in your mouth, I'm not really swirling my tongue around. I'm just sucking a dick.
I'm like doing stuff with my tongue right now. I
She's
will
like on the top of the dick, like. He's like, what are you doing?
I will flick my tongue around the head of a dick when I'm like first getting into it.
That's what I said. Like it's a very beginning of it. Just like a little tease.
Yeah. And also if they can watch you just like sort of lick the head of their cock, it is like very hot. And you're like, tell me what to do to you. And they're like, go down. So I think that's hot. Anything with mirrors, great. Anything where they can watch you, super sexy.
I don't know if I need to watch that from my own standpoint. And also, I'd be looking in the mirror. I'd be like, Ashley, you're doing so good.
So wouldn't you enjoy it?
Yeah, maybe you're right. I'd be like, my hair looks so good.
Yeah. Listen.
Or maybe not. Maybe it would like scar me forever. I don't know that I think it's one of those things of like, I don't even know.
I bought a mirrored headboard. It wasn't by accident. I really like watching it. I like watching somebody fuck me. I like watching myself suck somebody's dick. I think it's like really fun. And if they can watch you, great. But also it might take you out of the moment. So whatever you enjoy.
Okay. Someone says use your thumb on your other hand to put slight pressure on the taint. I like that. It's like the pressure. But again, like might not be for everybody.
But I told you, taint play. Love.
So for sure. Yeah.
Okay, I like this one. Ask him to rub your clit in the process to get you more turned on, aka it's better for him. I had somebody, when I was giving Roadhead, he had long arms. He like reached around and was like fingering me while I blew
doesn't
him.
feel like it's always totally physically possible.
No, or give them a show and rub your own clit while you're doing it.
This is funny. Weird. She says weird, but I think about milking his dick. I like that visualization. Maybe she grew up on a farm.
It was just really into dairy. So, you know what I want to say is that I haven't done it, so there's no reason for me to like think that I'm more into it recently than before. I think I'm more into 69. I haven't done it since I've decided this, but I do like this because I'm so turned on by giving a blowjob to somebody. I think I might start to enjoy it a little bit more.
I can see that for you. Yeah.
So obviously somebody suggested 69ing. Like, however you want to make this more enjoyable for you. Maybe you want somebody to lick your clit while you're going down on somebody.
That's
69.
true. This one said, if you slide your finger in the butthole, it will distract them from how lazy you are with your BJ. What a nightmare. What a nightmare for this guy that he's getting a lazy blowjob, then he just gets a finger in the butt. I don't know that anyone wants this, but live your truth.
Also, if I'm too lazy to give a blowjob, I don't know if I'm also at the same time the kind of girl that's fingering buttholes.
Oh my gosh.
We didn't talk about also, somebody suggested this is just breathing in general, like breathing through your nose.
Right. Maybe if you have allergies, it's not right now to do a blowjob. If you have a bad cold, if you just got a nose job.
You just got COVID.
Yeah.
So yes, breathe through your nose. It'll help you to not gag so much. Also, just take a break for a second. Your hand is your friend. You can take a break if you feel like it's just gagging you and there's shit running all over the place.
Your hand is your friend. Someone wrote salt and pepper, baby, just like you twist the grinder with two hands. Again, this is a technique. I think some people would really like it. I think it's a lot going on. It just has to be so much lube or we have a real problem.
It's a lot
like
of
when you just totally
differing.
chafe it up. Like it's both hands like that. People used to do that on people's arm, like growing up. You know what I mean?
100%. I mean, everybody's dick is different. Like,
I think with the right amount of lubrication, it would be nice. It feels like a high level sensory experience,
like a tornado on your cock.
Yeah. Like I'm just thinking about like if someone was on my clit, like going all these different directions, I'd be like, yes.
See, and I think for me it'd be distracting, and I'd be like, pick one lane, pick one direction. So everybody's body is different. Like I got used to the like twisting my hand method, and the next guy was like, don't do that.
That's the thing. And like think of yourself. Like I think so many times throughout this episode, we've been like, put yourself in their position. Like not every guy is the same, just like not every woman's body is the same. So we talked about this with Emily Nagoski. We don't want some guy thinking that he mastered the female body because he made one woman come all the time. So the same, like I think they're a little less picky. I think, sucking dick is a little bit easier to navigate than oral sex on a woman, but it still doesn't mean that like one size fits all. And
that's another point, by the way, that we didn't talk about is not everybody comes from blowjobs. I've met guys that are just like, I can't get there. And if your man is like, I can't get there, first of all, I think it's a line.
Take it as a challenge.
I think that every girl's like, okay, but if
I'll be the one. Yeah. I think it's a line a lot of the time.
I've been with guys that like don't necessarily finish from blowjobs that often. The last person I dated could finish from blowjob in 5 seconds. He could fuck 4 times a day. It was crazy. But like the guy before that, maybe once a week, once every other week could finish from a blowjob. I don't know, but not everybody's finishing from blowjobs. So just like Ashley said in the very beginning, don't feel like you have to finish it. Do it for a little bit.
Right. Oh my God, I'm dead over this one. Picture his ex is in the room watching for motivation.
Oh, jaw on the floor.
That's amazing.
This is
the best tip of the whole thing. Especially if you just like kind of feel like you're jealous of his ex for whatever reason, like just stalk her Instagram before you give a blowjob and then just pretend she's in the room.
Or if you can't have beef with her, picture your ex is in the room.
Oh my God.
And suck that dick with a vengeance.
Oh my God.
I think that is so funny. I just like this because this is how I feel. Genuinely have fun. Enthusiasm is the key. I mean, I think that about all things in sex. Like I'm a really tremendously sexual person, but I don't know that everybody I've dated would be like, she's so kinky. I just love fucking. So I'm an enthusiastic participant. And I think that like that is just what makes it really good. I think people enjoy a blowjob for me because I'm like really happy to be there.
I know. Have fun. It's my favorite simple phrase. Like it's my favorite thing that people say to me before I go up on stage to do comedy. It's like my favorite thing. Have fun. Like in life, that's just what we should all be doing. So apply it to your blowjobs. Or sorry, your dick sucking.
To your dick sucking. Ashley's just here to party.
Just sucking dick.
So I think that is the most perfect advice. Just have fun. And that's it.
All right, guys. Well, have fun out there.
I hope you felt like you got a lot of tips. We've wanted to talk about this for a long time. I'll talk about this every single week. I just love it. Get out there, suck a dick,
and have fun. All right, guys. Well, we hope you enjoyed our 4-year anniversary. Thank you for being with us the past 4 years. Or if you're new here, welcome. Or if you've been here for 2 years or whatever it is, we're just glad to have you, most of you. And you can find... And to all of our California snack heads, we cannot wait to see you this weekend and next week in LA, San Francisco, and San Diego. You can get tickets to the shows we have tickets remaining for at girlsgottaeatpodcast.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Girls Gotta Eat Podcast. I am Ash Hess and Raina is Raina.Greenberg and girls_gotta eat on Twitter. And we will see you guys next week.
Love you guys. Thank you for being here and have a great week.
Bye.